I found it. This has got to be it. Look at this. It's even got writing on the outside. Hello. Dogs all got mad at me. They had a major breakout last night. So the ones that broke out, I put them on the chain gang. It's just a cable with some tie outs on it. Let me tell you what, they have ordinances in town and cities and stuff about not tying your dogs out. And to an extent I can see that, because there's a lot of people who will take dogs and tie them out and then they don't ever do anything with them. Those dogs are always on a leash and they stay, or on a chain, tied out, and you know, and then you put some of those protection type breeds on a chain, after a while they get mean. Now, I can see where the ordinance would be a benefit for that. But for those of us who have hounds, I think it's real important for them to learn to be tied out. I used to not do it much. Well, I say I used to. Back a long time ago, when I was in the mountains, I had my dogs tied out. And that was for, I hunted all the time back then. So they were always getting out. And that's the main thing. I kennel my dogs now. I put them in kennels. But then we break them all to tie out on the chain. Or I call it a chain gang. It's a cable tie out. And it's good for them, because then if they ever get hung up anywhere, they know to give to that pressure and to not fight it. And then also, if you're out and you need to tie them up, and so you can go somewhere, or you want to leave some dogs and take other dogs, you tie them up overnight, you're camped out somewhere, you can do it. It doesn't hurt them. They learn some patience, and they learn, would it be discipline? You know, last week I rode up to Geronimo's cave up there, and all this has kind of come back to me since I had my heart problems. I remember years ago when I was young, all these places fascinated me. And this is another place that fascinated me. I remember the first four-wheel drive I had. I bought my wife, my first wife, I bought her a Ford Bronco, one of the little ones, the old ones. This had to be about 1986, something like that. It was her car, but I got to use it. And first thing I did is I ran out here to the hills in it, took it up a big old four-wheel drive trail, and put a rock in the sidewall, popped a tire. But anyway, it was about that same time frame. I had a horse that I called Huggy. Big old nice gelding. Huggy was a quarter horse. And I broke him and trained him. It was back, before, you know, it was back when I didn't know anything about mules. I'd never rode a mule, never had a mule or nothing. But he was a good mountain horse. He got around good and was strong. And I took him deer hunting by myself. And I rode him all around these desert hills back then. This is back in the 80s. And a lot of the time, I got in a kick. I guess I got in a kick where I read all these treasure tales about these. There's some pretty famous treasure stories from around this area. And so I would go and see if I could find signs. And I always had a couple dogs with me. And you know, just not much different than I've always been. Just needing to get out. I had to get out. And so, that's old Ding Dong Jack. So, looking for treasure was just another excuse to get out. And this place right up here is where I used to come up here and ride. And I found all these, what do you call them? Indian, I always want to say petroglyphs, but it's not petroglyphs, it's petroglyphs. Indian petroglyphs. It's where they ride on the rocks and they leave their little designs and all that kind of stuff. And there's some that are pretty well known that are real accessible. But I found some that were further up the mountain and you had to climb through these rocks underneath them, and they were written in red. They weren't carved into the rock. They used some kind of a dye or whatever, something that they used. What in the world? Something they got, and they dyed the. Hey, get out of here! Quit it! Javelina. Since I was so rudely interrupted, these hounds found a javelina down there. They just had to get a little education on it. For those that don't know, these collars that I put on these dogs, they're not just to track. I don't use them the way a lot of guys use them that, you know, that hunt out of vehicles and snow hunt or bear hunt back east or however they do it. I don't just ride around in a buggy or whatever, or with my handheld on a mule even, and look at that thing to see where they're at. I use them for rescue, or if I get bluffed up and I can't find my dogs, I have to go look for them. You know, I can usually find them with that deal. It's kind of a safety feature, but it also has a shock collar built into it. So you break your dogs off of trash, like any unwanted game, javelina, anything you don't want them to run. Me, really all I want to run is a cat. You know, I'll let them run a bobcat, and I won't shock them for running a fox. I'll let them run a fox. And but typically I just want them to trail lions. And I don't run bears. I don't like to hunt bears. So down here in the desert, I don't worry. I don't have to worry about bears down here. Anyway, where was I before I was so rudely interrupted? Oh, about being a little kind of an amateur treasure hunter. So I was all over these hills back then. I wish there was YouTube back then, but there wasn't. And I didn't have a video camera or anything anyway. Like I said, it is more of just an excuse to be able to get out. I love to get out and be out and about. But, so I found those petroglyphs, I think is what they call them. Anyway, after I got back from Geronimo's Cave the other day, I got thinking, well, that was fun. I enjoyed going and seeing that. I hadn't seen it in years. So I thought, well, shoot. This is right behind my house. It's probably, I don't know, it's probably a 4 or 5 mile ride back behind my house. I don't even have to use my truck or trailer. I don't have to load up. I can just saddle up, turn some dogs loose, and here we go. So, where's Timmy? So that's what I did. The weather was just, I mean, for the desert, 27 degrees this morning. And right now it's only like 52 degrees. It's, no, I think it's only 47 degrees. I can check. Let me check. Got my little sensor denser deal. Well, it says 62 degrees, but the high was only supposed to get to 57 today, but 62 degrees still. That's beautiful in this old desert. I love it. So I thought, well, I'll get some dogs out, even though we had the breakout this morning of those other hounds, and saddle up old Big Agnes and head up here to the mountain. First, there's some more well-known petroglyphs in this canyon up here, and me and my wife hiked up here to look at them one time. And I'm not supposed to do this, but I'm going to give you a little sneak peek of my wife interpreting the petroglyphs, what the Indians meant when they were writing those rocks. Me, myself, I think they were just set there the Indians were set there as a guard, or, the old chief said, hey, I guess they were Indians back then. The old chief said, hey, you sit in this canyon, you watch for anybody coming up here, and if they come up here, send up smoke signals or let us know or something. And those guys would get bored and they would carve on those rocks. That's what I think. She says it means all kinds of different things. She gets a little far out there sometimes. Those petroglyphs are right over there in those rocks. That's the ones I think a lot of people know about. Got down to 27 degrees last night, so I shouldn't have to worry about rattlesnakes. It's always a possibility, but I don't think so. I gotta find a place where I can climb up in there. Yeah, there we go. They're up in there somewhere. Since I rode to this location out of the yard, I'm not positive, but I'm pretty sure I should tie Agnes up. She's a pretty good mule, but she knows the way back to the house, and that's where her buddies are, so I don't want to be left on foot up here, so I'm going to go ahead and tie her up just to be careful, or just to be safe. Stay put, Agnes. It's okay. Come here, Pete. Come here, Pete. Come here, buddy. Think it means anything? how old are they? Look at that. I don't know if I'll fit. I think this is new. Oh no, that's a spaceship. That's new. This would be a good lookout though. Hey, wait, I heard it. Get over here. I don't know where it's at. Heard a snake. But where? He must be cold. Where was he? It'd be terrible to have a snake right there strike you like in the Western movies. I know I heard him. Maybe I'm just a little boogery right now. It's awfully cold for a snake. I would hope. Anyway, I could see this being a place for a lookout. I didn't know those Indians knew English. Maybe that was just a rock I heard. But I could see just sitting here waiting to keep an eye out in case anybody came. A lookout spot. Here's where the good ones are. Oh yeah, look at this. Look at that. What does it mean? I wonder what Graham Hancock would say, or Joe Rogan. What a maze in here. Oh, look at it. Looks like a hand. this is, oh, there's lots of these little ziggly lines. And then that, I've seen that somewhere before. Like little antlers and an eye. I've seen that before somewhere in a book or something. The head, little ears or antlers or horns, and an eye. That's pretty cool. There's another one right there. One little line right there. Look at that. I can just see that Indian sitting right here like this, doodling. I mean, do. What do those lines mean? And then the circles. Look at the circles connected. Circle, connected, circle, connected, circle, connected, 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 not connected, not connected, not connected. Strange. See some, I think so. What do you think? You think that's old or do you think that's new? I don't know. It points up here. There's buried gold up here. And then most all of them are on this side of the rocks, which would be the east side of the rocks. That's because that's like they're waiting for an ambush down there. See, none on the west facing rocks. Now we're right up this canyon. It's a long old ride, but we'll make it up to the top. And then there's some more ridings out in the open that everybody knows about. And then if I can find them, I'll have to hike around up there, but you go underneath some rocks. And then there's some, it's written in like a red dye or paint or whatever under. I had a little problem yesterday. Right after I got up to the canyon and was filming the petroglyphs in the canyon, my camera quit working. It said the SD card was full, but it wasn't full. But what it was is I had deleted everything, but I hadn't emptied my trash on my computer, and I guess that still tells it that it's full. I don't know. It was a bad day anyway. The dogs had gotten out. The dogs had ran a javelina and got it caught. Or they stopped it. They didn't catch it, I guess. Uno got cut up. Timmy got cut up. So I just abandoned the mission. But I'm heading out this morning. This is the very next day. And you can look and see I'm going to that mountain right there. Right there, that big mountain. This is all right behind my place, so. I gotta saddle up Big Agnes and take off. All right, yesterday just didn't work out. I guess I got a female dog in season. And I had 6 dogs out that morning. And some of them had been fighting. I mean, not bad. Like I've had, when I had those Airedales, man, they could fight. Nah, these hounds, they just kind of rough each other up a little bit. My grandson showed up and I just told him, put him on the chain gang. And he did. Got up there, I don't know, just about a mile from the house here. Jumped a stinking javelina. And that javelina, these dogs, they got caught up to him. and I couldn't get my shocker out in time. Finally, I got it out, and you know, the older dogs, they really probably wouldn't have chased him, but the young dogs started it, and of course they fell right in. I got to shock a bunch of them, but Uno and Timmy got cut up a little bit, so I had to doctor them, and I had my grandson come up and pick them up, and then I continued riding up through there, and I got up to the canyon that leads up to the big mountain. See, there's the big mountain right there, and that's where I'm going to. Where all those other ridings were, and I filmed most of those, and then my SD card said it was full on my camera. And I couldn't erase anything, so I said, you know, today's just not working out. I got tomorrow. So I just came on back. So now this is the next day, but I still got some hound dogs with me, and I got my famous mule, Big Agnes. Anyway, here we go, onward and upward. That is the watchword. We'll drop down in here and ride right on up that canyon, up to the big mountain. And if I remember correctly, those extra drawings or those other petroglyphs that I found is right on this side of the mountain, about a quarter of the way up. See if I can get my mule. See if I can ride my mule up close. We'll see. Here we go. It's a funny thing, prior to COVID, I come up here all the time. You never would see hardly any tracks. You wouldn't see nothing. And during COVID, and then now after COVID, everybody comes up here. And they got these bicyclers that have these trails built all over these little canyons and hills. And pretty neat trails, really. Looks like fun. But prior to COVID, they didn't do that. I mean, there was a few, but not like it is now. And then now the buggies and everything, the ATVs or UTVs, whatever you want to call them, they're all over up here. I'm going to ride up to the top right there, that hill. I want to show you something that has to do with that book I read about the treasure. See if we can see it from up there. You can't see it from here. These little hills, I think. It talks about 3 peaks of about the same size towards the rising sun. And then an aloma, which is kind of a bald little hill. And I think... Jack. I have no idea what they're after. It's sandy though, I can find the track. Probably a rabbit. Anyway, but that was supposed to be an indication of where that treasure was. I will find the book and read it to you. How he says it, and the name of the book, and then the author and all that stuff. I can't remember it right now. But yeah, and then there's that mountain right there.
In Solday Canyon, there is a natural cave on the brow of a hill opening toward the south. There is a cross cut into the rock above the entrance of the cave and directly in front of a young juniper tree. For better directions, there are 3 medium-sized peaks toward the rising sun, whose shadows converge in the morning 250 paces east of the cave's entrance and a little to the south. 250 paces from this point, directly north, you will come to a promontory, a loma, from where, by looking straight ahead, you can see the Jornado del Muerto as far the eye can see, The distance from this point back to the cave should be exactly the same as the distance, the place where the shadows converge. 100 paces from the entrance of the cave, down to the nearby arroyo, and in line with the point of convergence, you will find a dripping spring. The entrance to the cave has been covered to a depth of a man's height, and 10 varas beyond the entrance of it, there is an adobe wall which must be taken down. At the bottom of a long tunnel, the cave separates into 2 parts. The left cave contains coined silver, more than 2 atajos can carry. The right cave contains golden chandeliers, urns, crucifixes, gold images, and monstrances of beaten gold.
I can't remember where it was. There's lots of big boulders there. I'll just have to ride around and look and see if I can recognize anything familiar. We'll see. There's that exact same foot again. I think the W and the S up above are pretty much new ones. Look at, there's a foot with a little arch over the top of it. There's a big foot up there. What the heck do they mean? Now there it looks like a mushroom with 4 dots over the top of it. They're a little more sophisticated than just regular doodles, aren't they? Go see if we can find those ones in the cave hole up there. All I remember, it was underneath. You climbed up underneath some rocks, and it was shaded in there, or dark. It wasn't a cave, but it was rocks stacked on top of each other, kind of like that right there. I think I found some. I'm not sure. I found some drawings. I don't think they're the same ones I knew from before. Get my flashlight. Oh, I forgot. There's channels that do reviews of stuff, you know. They do flashlights and knives and whatever. I don't really do that. But I had this Olight get a hold of me and offer to send me a flashlight. They were going to send me this great big one. And I said, no, I said, that probably wouldn't do me much good because I need something that's lightweight or smaller. I don't want to pack a big old flashlight with me. So they sent me this little one. It's a Seek 100. I've never had, watch it, Agnes. I've never had fancy flashlights. I've always bought my flashlights like at Walmart. And, you know, $10, $15. This one costs $125 on Amazon. And I've used it. I've never used it in a video before. And I've used it, but usually when I go out and check the dogs at night, or I have to go outside for something at night, I use it, and I'm not videoing them. But now I think I can use it to maybe illuminate this, what I think is some Indian drawings. We'll see. And now I don't think this is the big one that I found before, but I bet the big one is close. But these fancy lights are hard to turn on. Hey! Look at that. That's pretty nice. Now, see, is that natural? It's nowhere else. Maybe that looks like one. Is that natural? Is that written in there? I don't see any other ones. No, that's not natural. I don't think. There we go. I don't know. See, and that's an old tree. Remember there was something about an old tree or something. Should have brought a metal detector. I'm gonna go look for another one. Oh, and I forgot to say, they gave me a discount code. So if you use the discount code, I think you get 10% off. It'll be in the description. And then if you get 10% off, I get 10% of the purchase price. So that helps out the channel. Like I said, I like it. It's a fancy little light. It's a Seek 3 Pro from Olight. It's pretty weighty. It's nice. I'm sure the one that I found before had more drawings in. Didn't just have lines. If I remember right, it had like little men, stick men and stuff. I don't know. And it seemed like I remembered a tree, but that don't necessarily mean anything. My memory's not the best in the world. And it was bigger. Now, you didn't have to get down so low to see it. And it was like it was covered with another rock. It was like a crack underneath one rock with another rock laying over it. But I just can't remember exactly where. I mean, what a maze. Look at all this stuff here. Man, if I was going to draw, I'd draw on that rock right over there. You could hide an army up here. Found it. This has got to be it. Look at this. It's even got writing on the outside. And to me, this writing looks different. Now, I've seen in the treasure books this symbol before, and it's supposed to mean something. And then look at this. I mean, this is drawn like a little squiggly line here, and then comes up to a cross. Is that a doodle? Or is that actually mean something? And then here we go. I'm sure this is it. Yep. It's got to be. Yep. Oh, look at where they drilled. And they made those little deals in the rocks. Look at that. And look at how deep that one. And then here, watch this. Oh, there they are. There they are. Look at that. What does that mean? There's some more right there. And what is that written with? It's red. All the other ones are like etched out on the rock. And these are just written with some kind of red dye or, paint or whatever. Oh, they gotta mean something. And there's someone that scratched CA on the rock. It happens every time. You think you're way out here in the middle of nowhere. Nobody's going to find this, although there is a little old road that comes up through here. People come up here, but not as many as you think. The four-wheelers, and usually they're out or four-wheelers, side-by-sides, UTVs, whatever you want to call them. They're usually out here just buzzing around, having a good time in their buggy. So they don't get up, and they don't get out of their buggy much. But someone came up here and put CA on the rock. Well, right there's more. Hey, guys, get out of my face. Get. You guys, I'm okay. I'd like to find some arrowheads. No. There's some more right there. Those are kind of getting faded, huh? Haha, there's probably writings all over up through here. Here in a minute, I'll show you. I'm gonna build me a fire and heat me up some lunch. And here in a minute, I'll show you the three peaks towards the rising sun. All about the same size. There's some more I didn't see up there. And right there. Ooh. Right there. And then right here. Just doodling. There's those there's those lines again. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's build a fire and have some lunch. I brought beef heart today. It's already cooked. I cooked it the other day, but it's cold. Beef heart's not good unless it's heated up. Holy Agnes. That was good, huh? Sorry, guys, but onward and upward. It's going to be hard to tell from this angle, but there's 3 peaks. Not that one to the far right, but there's that one that's in front of the big one, back. There's 1, 2, 3. And see, 1, 2, 3. And the legend says that legend or whatever you want to say, says that there's 3 peaks towards the rising sun. So you got to understand, I was living down in the valley down there, and I looked out my window and seen the sun come up, and I could see those 3 peaks. It says 3 peaks of about the same size towards the rising sun. And then they said there's an aloma, which is kind of a little bald hill, like this little hill here, that one over there, that one over there. There's a bunch of alomas. I'll read it to you though, but those are the peaks right there. I got excited. And there is a mine shaft over here that I found. But anyway, I never found any treasure, but I sure had a good time out here looking. Still hunting. Treasure, lions, whatever. Adventure. Ooh, mule. Yes, sir. It was a good day.